500 years later, humanity will move from the era of technology to the era of full-time employment for all. A mutation with various monsters rampant, human civilization collapsing, and survival facing huge challenges. Steles of transitioning gods teleported from the depths of the universe. At the same time, there are countless secret realms, dungeons, abyss, and unknown forbidden areas. Fear, danger, treasure, opportunity, everything is in silence. Human beings are like weeds, indomitable. Only by constantly killing monsters and becoming stronger can we seek a place of survival for ourselves, for our family, for our friends, and even for all humanity. On the day of his job transfer, Lin Qingxian became a necromancer. I don't need anyone to help me. I can summon countless warriors and form an invincible army at any time. How about we have a fight? Death is the stage, death is the asset. First level summoning technique, summoning 2 skeletons. Second level summoning technique, summoning 4 skeletons. Third level summoning technique, summoning 8 skeletons. Level 30 summoning art, summoning. Sorry, I'm not very good at math and I can't figure it out. 10 black iron skeletons can be strengthened into bronze skeletons. 10 bronze skeletons can be strengthened into silver skeletons. 100 silver skeletons can be strengthened into gold skeletons. 100 golden skeletons can be strengthened into knight skeletons. Level 30 summoning technique, can summoning once strengthen it into a knight's skull. Oh my, it's so annoying, I can't even count it. He also has a divine level passive transformation spell, which transfers all the damage he receives to the summoned object. From then on, there was an extra 6th in the world. This story is purely fictional, any similarity is a coincidence. Keywords of the novel. All people. Undead Mage, summoning Skull Legion. No pop-ups, everyone. Undead Mage, summon the Skull Legion. Complete download of TXT, everyone. Undead Mage, summon the Skull Legion. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Rebirth from a Different Realm, dedicated to all people. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Rebirth from a Different Realm, dedicated to all people July 29, 2523 AD. Water Blue Star, Great Han Kingdom. Shanghai Province, Yushe. The Dongfang Vocational College is one of the best advanced vocational colleges in the Great Han Dynasty. Colored flags fluttered in the wind, and young men and women on the school field patiently lined up with anticipation, preparing for a crucial moment that could change their future. The job transfer ceremony. An old man meaningfully scanned the audience from the high platform and began his speech. Children, I believe everyone is already familiar with and masters the theoretical knowledge about job transfers. At the age of 18, it is time for you to truly integrate into this world. Today is the most important moment in your life, which will determine how you will live in the future. I won't say much nonsense here, I just hope that everyone can reach the height of Tianjiao Lijiye, bring glory to my Yucheng, and become the backbone of my human race. The old man is the principal of the Dongfang, named Qin Kailiang. The Lijiye he was talking about was Tianjiao, who had left Yucheng and now ranks second on the list of human Tianjiao. It is the glory of Yucheng, and it is also the fact that all the students present may not be able to see the shadow as they look up. If this world also pursues stars, then Lijiye is undoubtedly the idol and goal of all young people in Yucheng. Applause kept ringing throughout the entire campus. At the same time, call out your name in order according to the roster, and the person who is called up will come forward to receive the baptism of the god of transfer steel. Watching the school transition monument, as the names of the staff around the principal fell from their mouths, one by one figures quickly walked forward. Lin Qingshuan's eyes involuntarily narrowed slightly, and his face was also filled with anticipation. I have been in this world for 3 years and have gained a clear and vague understanding of it. 500 years ago, a crimson blood moon suddenly hung high in the sky. Various monsters suddenly appeared, and in an instant, the entire human world was like a purgatory, almost extinct. A series of job-changing tablets have descended from the depths of the universe, and humans can become various professions at the age of 18 with the help of job-changing tablets. At the same time, there are countless secret realms, dungeons, abyss, and unknown forbidden areas. Fear, danger, treasure, opportunity, everything is in silence. Human beings are like weeds, displaying indomitable and tenacious vitality. When disaster strikes, the first group of survivors are just survivors, relying solely on luck. The person who can persist until the end is the true technology. These ancestors gradually became stronger through various means, and it is unknown how much blood they shed before opening up safe zones one by one. After 500 years of unremitting efforts, shedding blood and tears, we finally have a relatively safe life today. The success rate of job transfer is 100%, the only difference is what profession you will switch to. It's hard to say, it all depends on your luck and character. Some people usually just hang around and become ordinary, but then switch jobs and become an enviable profession. Some people are usually exceptionally excellent, but when they are full-time, they are just a useless profession that nobody cares about. The highest honor and most sought-after profession is naturally the main battle profession. After all, the world's strength is respected, and it all relies on fists to fight the world. In the future, there are also relatively high expectations for auxiliary professions. After all, auxiliary professions also play a very important role in the battlefield. For example, do you dare to offend the doctor who treats you at will? The various benefits of life-related professions are naturally much worse, but the advantage lies in a stable and logistical support force, which has always been the priority of the army without moving food and supplies. Of course, whether a profession is strong or not depends mainly on the person. As our predecessors have told us, there are divine-level assists and also vegetable chicken main battles. Overall, it is about each performing their own duties. Everything is for the better survival of humanity, silently dedicating themselves to becoming an unknown hero. Lin Qingxian understood the background of this era, and his first thought was that games would invade the real world. He has read many such novels and played many games in his past life. When I was young, I often invited 3 to 5 friends to stay up all night fighting monsters and upgrading. Everyone wants to be a world-renowned hero, but Lin Qingxian doesn't think so. He has known for generations that heroes have always had short lives, and most of those who survive are villains. While thinking about my worries, I listened to someone whispering next to me. Did you hear that the third high school next door was extremely cold yesterday, and the top student changed jobs to a gardener, almost laughing his teeth out? Lin Qingxian immediately reminded this guy, there is only a 10% chance to switch to a main combat profession. If you have time to mock others, it's better to pray for yourself. At this moment, his close friends pushed him on the back and said, "Hey, what profession do you want to transfer to?" Before Lin Qingxian could even speak up, the guy spoke up again and mocked, "Your grandfather is a cook and blacksmith, and your father is a cook and blacksmith. You two scumbags must also be a cook and blacksmith." This guy has a bad mouth, but he's telling the truth. Lin Qingxuan's ancestors have been living professions for 3 generations, blacksmith. Good buddy, Gao Xiaohu. My ancestors have been cooks for 3 generations, and our 2 families are neighbors. We play from small to big. As for mocking the 2 of them, it's also a matter of 50 steps laughing at 100 steps. They have been animal trainers for generations. The definition of this profession is very vague. Although the most excellent animal trainers have considerable strength, they are still within the range of life skills. This guy has such a bad mouth, he's just looking for a sense of superiority between the 2 of them. He doesn't dare to fart in front of top students. Lin Qingxian has been a person of 2 generations, and his theoretical knowledge is naturally not inferior. The reason why he is a scumbag is because he controls his grades and doesn't want too many people to pay attention to him. This world is very dangerous, being too excellent sometimes may not necessarily be a good thing. After chatting for a while, we went our separate ways. Soon, we heard someone shouting their name with a foul-mouthed voice and making a protest at the people around us before running forward with their heads up and chest up. Under the god monument of job transfer, accompanied by bursts of light, this guy successfully transferred. Life-related professions, farmers. When I first went up, I was so excited and proud, but now I am so depressed. Walking down with his head down, he wished he could burrow into the crevice of the ground. His mouth was usually full of sarcasm. One of the friends who usually get along well comforted him. Farmers can upgrade to become craftsmen in the future, and even the legendary Shinangshi is not impossible, and their life skills are not very bad. The most important thing is to win in stability. Faced with someone's kind comfort, it sounded like mockery to him, so he let out a low roar with an angry expression on his face. Get lost. Comforting his companion, he let out a long sigh and began to jog forward, where his name was called out. After a burst of brilliant light, he looked excited and felt like he had hit big luck. Main combat profession, warrior. This is a very ordinary profession, belonging to the general market, but it is actually the main battle profession. Stinky Mouth looked at the other person with a regretful expression on its face. When the other party comes back, he keeps apologizing and saying words of praise with all his heart and soul. Congratulations, the future is limitless. They only answered him with one word. Get lost. A burst of laughter erupted around, and the Stinky Mouth looked at Lin Qingxian and Gao Xiaohu cursing, the cook and blacksmith, laugh your butt. Gao Xiaohu retorted directly, you trash, I despise you. Lin Qingxian did not respond because his name was being called out from above. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Unique Occupation, Undead Mage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Unique Occupation, Undead Mage. Changing jobs is like scraping off a scratch, it all depends on luck and character. Qin Kailiang, the principal of Qin University, shook his head in disappointment and sighed, this year's students are very average, and there hasn't been a rare profession yet. Beside him was the director of the education department, who smiled apologetically and agreed, there is not much hope for rare professions. If there is a high-level main battle, I will burn high incense. Qin Kailiang glared at him with hatred and anger, saying, look at your achievements. There are 2 or 3 rare professions appearing in Yuqing every year. If you ask me, there must be rare professions to bring glory to us. The teaching director suddenly had a joyful expression on his face, and his tiger body shook its fist and raised it high, saying, the heaven and earth illusion, since it has triggered a job transfer illusion, it's a good omen. Lin Qingxian stood under the monument of the god of career transfer, shining with the most brilliant light today. In the previous moment, the scorching sun scorched the earth, and even the blowing wind was filled with hot air. In the next moment, dark clouds gather and thick clouds fall under the pressure of darkness. The morning turns into dusk, and the soldiers and iron horses constantly transform, making people unable to breathe. The warm wind turns into a cold current, and the gusts of cold wind blowing from all directions make students in single clothes and pants shiver. This kind of coldness is not the coldness of the cold winter months, but the coldness from the depths of the soul. It's windy, it's going to rain. It's so cold, probably accompanied by hail. Fantasy, this is a job transfer fantasy. Qin Kailiang was very excited. It was also his first time encountering such a big commotion caused by his job transfer. Later on, the whole person became excited. With such a big commotion, it was at least a rare profession, and it was possible that it was also a legendary profession. Both main battle and auxiliary professions have strict level divisions. Low level, intermediate level, advanced level, rare, and legendary. Even the boastful Li Jie in his mouth is just a rare profession. If we were to really create a legendary profession today, it would give him the capital to boast, and he would wake up with a crooked smile while sleeping. Now he just wants to know whether it's a main battle or an auxiliary, constantly praying, the main battle, must be a main battle. The movement in the dark clouds grew louder and louder, and there were cries of killing in the blowing wind. Gold and iron horses accompanied by charging horns, followed by a transformation, with corpses scattered everywhere and crows flying all over the sky. The scene transformed into a dense collection of skeletons, with white bones piled up like mountains. The two empty black holes on the skull emit a white glow of soul fire. Everywhere in the mountains and fields is an indescribable ferocity, terrifying to the extreme. A mirage, knowing that all of this is a false illusion, but it still makes people unable to help but shrink and huddle together for warmth. Especially for girls, their faces turn pale with fear, and some even fall to the ground, their legs weak, trembling and unable to stand up. The eerie soul fire fell like a meteor shower on Lin Qingxuan's forehead. At the same time, the illusion disappeared, everything returned to nature, and the sun remained high. Everything I had just experienced was like a dream. Expectation, curiosity, shock, jealousy, resentment, and unwillingness all fell on Lin Qingxian at the same time. I don't know why, there is an illusion of being closely watched by a venomous snake, and it will bite me at any time. I couldn't help but shudder as I heard the special care from the principal in my ear. Come on to me, don't affect other classmates' job transfers. As he obediently approached the principal, he didn't even have time to see his job transfer attributes when he heard the impatient voice of the teaching director. Lin Qingxian is not bad. Since he has changed his job to become a rare profession called Undead Summoner, quickly summon your summoning beast for us to see. Lin Qingxian blinked, realizing that he had transferred to a legendary hidden profession. The Undead Mage. How did it become a rare profession? Undead Summoner. At the same time, there was an additional piece of information in my mind that perfectly explained what was going on. The so-called hidden profession refers to the fact that in order to protect the full-time staff and not target them, the God Monument will automatically hide some information, so that there may be some discrepancies between what others see and what they see. Good guy, it turns out that hidden professions can still be explained like this. First, carefully examine your various attributes. Name, Lin Qingxian, occupation, Undead Mage, unique occupation, level 1, experience 0.001%, power 10, constitution 10, agile 10, spirit 30, summoning space 0/2, passive skill, damage transfer, active skill. Underworld burning. Level 1, summoning skull art, damage transfer. When the undead mage is attacked, 50% of the damage taken will be transferred to the skull warrior. Underworld flame burning. The extremely cold flame burns the soul of the target, and its power increases with the increase of one's spiritual power and skill level. Summoning skull art. Summoning 2 black iron level skeletons to fight for oneself, each consuming 0.5 mental power. For each level raised, the number of skeletons doubles. Skeletons can be upgraded and strengthened, and 10 black iron skeletons can be strengthened into bronze skeletons. 10 bronze skeletons can be strengthened into silver skeletons. 100 silver skeletons can be strengthened into gold skeletons. 100 golden skeletons can be strengthened into knight skeletons or legendary skeletons. Lin Qingxuan's heart had already called out countless times, lying down, I'm sorry. This is simply death as a stage, death as an asset. First level summoning technique, summoning 2 skeletons. Second level summoning technique, summoning 4 skeletons. Third level summoning technique, summoning 8 skeletons. How much can level 30 summon? How much can level 50 summon? Even 2 generations of people are still confused, and this sincerity is a bit hard to come by. As long as you stay calm in the early stages and summon 100 million skeleton army to charge into battle, think of that scene, really look forward to it. Leaving aside other aspects, the summoning skills of the Skull Warrior are somewhat similar to the summoner profession. Soul burning is definitely not suitable for display, it's actually good to keep a hand in everything. Faced with the curiosity of the principal and teaching director, Lin Qingxian activated his skills and a black vortex suddenly appeared around him. The spiritual strength has increased from 30 to 29, without any pressure. 2 skull frames appeared in front of me, with multiple cracks throughout my body. In my hand, my simple knife was missing several notches, and the wind made a gurgling sound. This body of bones presents a dead gray color, indicating that it has gone through a long period of decay, which makes people very worried about falling apart at any time. Fortunately, there was a white underworld fire emitting a cold aura in his eyes, which gave off an illusion that I couldn't easily provoke. Now, these 2 skeletons have become the focus of the audience, and even the transfer situation not far away has been inadvertently ignored. Black Iron Skull Warrior Power. 10 Constitution. 10 Agile. 10 Spiritual Power. 10 Skill. None, there are no drawbacks, no advantages, and the 4 major attributes are quite balanced. Without skills, only capable of regular attacks, it doesn't seem much stronger. In addition to mental strength, I feel like I have 2 more of myself as a thug compared to my other attributes. Skeletons inherently have a fear effect, causing bursts of exclamation and noise upon their appearance. Principal Qin Kailiang squinted his eyes and gave him a few words of encouragement. Although these 2 skeletons are somewhat decadent, as their level increases, the upgraded skeleton warriors are still very powerful. Don't be arrogant or discouraged, work hard to cultivate, and bring glory to my Yuqing like Li Jie. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. See Rare Occupations again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. See Rare Occupations again. The teaching director had an extra drop of water on his fingertip, and with a flick of his finger, it landed on the skull's forehead. The skeleton warrior's eyes were filled with dark holes, and the flickering flames flickered. The drop of water turned into a little white frost, and then his neck turned to look towards the instructor. Does the skull warrior counterattack when attacked? If you don't make a choice within 8 seconds, you will automatically counterattack. Suddenly receiving this message in my mind, I quickly ordered the 2 skeletons not to move around. The teaching director was full of laughter and said, "Not bad, very vigilant." Lin Qingxian looked at the skull warrior and thought to himself, "Go back." 2 vortices appeared again at the location of the skull warrior, and in the blink of an eye, they surrounded the skull and disappeared in place. The attribute bar of my own summoning space has also changed, from the original, summoning space 0 out of 2, to summoning space 2 halves, number of black iron skull warriors. 2, the summoning space is an independent space that accommodates summoning objects. Skeleton warriors that are not usually used can be stored in the summoning space, and can be summoned anytime and anywhere without consuming mental energy. Skeleton warriors who have been injured can cultivate and recover in the summoning space. The capacity of summoning space will increase relatively with one's level. 10 black iron skull warriors are upgraded and reinforced into 1 bronze skull warrior, occupying 10 capacity units. Quickly understanding this information, Lin Qingxian took steady steps and returned to his own position. Just as he stood up, the stinky-mouthed farmer came up to congratulate him. "Lin Qingxian, you are really amazing. As soon as I see you, you know you are the dragon among people. Your future achievements are limitless. Let's go out for a drink tonight, my treat." The corners of his mouth were so ugly in Lin Qingxuan's eyes. He shook his head lightly and refused without even thinking, "Sorry, I made an appointment tonight. Let's reschedule." The other party's character is not very good, but the family power has a certain influence in Yucheng. Lin Qingxuan's ancestors have been blacksmiths for several generations, running a forge. A large number of orders came from the other family, and he couldn't afford to offend them, so he could only politely decline. Gao Xiaohu's family is different. Grandpa and father have good cooking skills and serve as chefs for a prominent family. There is also hearsay that it is highly likely that Gao Xiaohu was actually the illegitimate child of that wealthy family, and this possibility is very high. Backing against a big tree provides a good shade, and this guy speaks in a relatively tough tone. Just as Lin Qingxian was summoning the skeleton warrior, Gao Xiaohu had successfully transferred his position. Gao Xiaohu first glared at the guy with a wicked snort, then said, "I gave you face, right? Get lost." The stinky-mouthed guy's eyes twitched, his nose trembled, and he took a deep breath before turning around and leaving. There was a hissing sound around, and the guy walked faster and hid at the back of the crowd. "Che, what kind of thing, it's also suitable to call us brothers and sisters." Taking a glance at my good brother, I felt that his overall demeanor was different, and his tone of voice became much stronger. "Hey, my waist is straight, I've won a big prize. Of course, as a good brother of a rare profession, we can't hold you back, can we?" said Gao Xiaohu with a smirk and a proud look in his eyes as he spoke. He patted his chest and looked around, whispering, "When I changed jobs, all my attention was on you, so not many people cared about my profession. It's very in line with our brother's principle of pretending to be a pig, eating a tiger, and making a fortune in silence." He said a few lewd and dry chuckles, which were out of sync with his handsome face. At that time, my attention was all focused on studying my own skeleton warrior. "Please tell me what profession you want to switch to, it's really urgent." "Hehe, display the advanced main combat profession. Archer to the public." "Actually, I am a rare hidden profession. Hunter." Upon hearing this, Lin Qingxian felt a thump in his heart. He was like this, and Gao Xiaohu was like this. Will other people also show up and leave a hand? Moreover, this is not the first time that Lin Qingxian has heard of this hunter profession. As far as he knows, this is a special profession that combines archers, assassins, and animal trainers. There are characteristics such as archers shooting from a distance, assassins infiltrating and exploding, and animal trainers taming wild animals. There are a total of 6 different vocational skills, and the fault tolerance rate is quite high. The disadvantage is that there are many skills but not enough, making it difficult to achieve specialization and perfection in their respective professional fields. Taking domestication of beasts as an example, it requires patience to find suitable beasts and slowly cultivate them. If they die, they need to be recultivated. The hunter profession has also appeared in Yucheng before. One of them, the family directly dealt with an adult beast, which was in a state of chaos in the early stages and began to become somewhat decadent in the middle. One of them started from scratch, which was very decadent in the early stage, rising in the middle stage, and a fierce group in the later stage. There is another one that is average from the beginning and still average in the end. At the end of the day, this profession still depends on the individual. It is necessary to help good friends get through the early period of decline. After all, both of them are ordinary people who need to start from scratch to conquer the world. The two were whispering there when suddenly a slender figure walked over. Big eyes stared fixedly at Lin Qingxian and said word by word, "Lin Qingxian, I won't lose to you." A sudden sentence immediately confused Lin Qingxian. "The most important thing is that I don't have much interaction with her, I can't even call her name." After speaking, the beautiful woman turned around and left, not giving Lin Qingxian a chance to speak. Looking at the other person's back, Lin Qingxian only said one sentence. "You crazy, who is this?" Iron Buddy Gao Xiaohu also had a bewildered expression, not fully understanding who this was. Suddenly, another short girl ran over and simply said, "Lin Qingxian, I won't lose to you, humph." After finishing speaking, Lin Qingxian still turned around and left. He couldn't help but curse, "You crazy, who are you all?" Just as his voice dropped, another pair of twin sisters Hua said to him, "Lin Qingxian, you have successfully attracted our sisters. Let's see." As soon as the words fell on this side, another voice rang out. "Lin Qingxian, you're very good, it's my dish." Turning her head, she saw a chubby girl weighing over 200 pounds. After speaking to him, she didn't forget to blow kisses at him several times in a row. At this moment, Lin Qingxian realized that he had been teased and teased by a group of female hooligans. Sleeping trough, damn it. At this moment, the principal on stage suddenly said, "Please calm down and get back to your position. I really have no self-awareness, I don't even want my face." With a sigh, several girls who were about to speak lowered their heads and disappeared. The crowd was chaotic for a while before restoring the original order. Suddenly, the job transfer monument once again shone brightly, with clouds converging and the entire sky burning like an 800-mile fire, reflecting the sky red and fiery. Two huge fireballs exploded like fireworks in the clouds, transforming into meteor showers and falling towards the beautiful shadow in the formation. The illusion of job transfer is at least another rare profession. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Provocation from Elemental Mages. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Provocation from Elemental Mages. At this moment, all eyes were focused on the figure in the formation. As the strange meteor shower imprinted on the woman's forehead, her entire figure also underwent a great transformation. The black hair had faded and quickly turned red, as if it were a burning flame. Wow, a rare profession in the main battle category. Elemental Mage. Elemental Mages, and also fire attribute Elemental Mages, their attack power is quite powerful. She is indeed my goddess, so powerful, 100 times stronger than some summoners and archers. He is truly a top student, deserving of his reputation, unlike some underachievers who hit big luck. This is truly a rare main battle class, with unlimited future achievements. When a forbidden spell is lifted, Yuchen can be leveled. Ma Hongtong, I love you, I want to have a monkey with you. No matter how much everyone cheered and discussed, Qin Kailiang on stage was very satisfied and boasted, "Not bad, you're very good. In the near future, I hope to have your name on the Tianjiao list." In a simple sentence, the whole room was once again fried. Li Jie is now ranked second on the Tianjiao list. Is this another genius like Li Jie? The principal's words were like this, and the original noise fell into a moment of silence. The classmates who had just started to coax completely calmed down and recognized the gap between themselves and others. This kind of arrogance is no longer something you can joke about casually. It is also evident that today Principal Qin Kailiang looks even better at Ma Hongtong's future. Ma Hongtong, originally a proud daughter of heaven, is a top student, a school flower, and comes from a privileged family. She has always been sought after by people and has countless pursuers. At this time, Principal Qin Kailiang was overjoyed, with 2 rare main battle professions in succession, and this year he had the capital to show off. I really want to run to the toilet now, take a shower and shine, and see how big the chrysanthemums are. Ma Hongtong used to be a swan, but now she is definitely a proud white swan. Standing there without moving is incredibly confident. Bending slightly, bowing and bowing, he said, "Thank you for cultivating me. I will work hard to cultivate and bring glory to Yuchen, striving to become a pillar of humanity." With her unique cat steps, her red hair fluttering, and the gentle breeze blowing by, she took her charm to the next level. Returning to her position, many people gathered around her asking questions, and Lin Qingxian and Gao Xiaohu were also happy and quiet. For some reason, that group of people always liked to compare Lin Qingxian with her. The job transfer was still ongoing, but Ma Hongtong walked towards Lin Qingxian. Looking at Lin Qingxian arrogantly, he spoke arrogantly, "You are very good and qualified to become my follower." Lin Qingxian is confused, "What's the situation? Did you have a romantic encounter today?" Looking at the other person's beautiful face, it was this arrogance that he didn't like very much. His eyebrows furrowed slightly and he said, "What? You have taken a liking to me, is this making me take the initiative to pursue you?" Looking at the many people around me, I felt a bit shy and scratched my head, wriggling and pinching, so many people are watching. I'm so sorry. I'm so shy. Oh, I didn't expect to be single now and have a girlfriend. Ma Hongtong's eyebrows furrowed tightly, and her eyes gradually became round and convex, afraid that her two black eyeballs would fall off. She was very angry, as if she had been greatly insulted throughout her life. You vegetable chicken, Sabi. The toad wants to eat swan meat, it's fantastical and delusional. I don't understand human language, right? This is a chance for you. Don't want it, spicy chicken, what the hell? After cursing, leave without any hesitation. Someone pointed and pointed, spicy chicken, what the hell? The goddess sees you as a younger brother, which is the blessing that your family's 8th generation has obtained by burning incense. What are you thinking, scumbag, toad? Brother, I can't give you a chance to seize it. Hey, looking back years later, you'll understand what you missed today. Listening to various discussions, Lin Qingxian and Gao Xiaohu looked at each other with a regretful expression. That way, it's like there's 100 million in a woven bag on the roadside, but it can only be seen and cannot be picked up. At the same time, a playful smile appeared on his mouth. Lin Qingxian thought to himself, I'm a legendary profession. You're a rare profession, and even if I make you a licking dog for you, your brain is sick. Gao Xiaohu thought to himself, everyone is a rare profession. How could you have the courage to take us as your little brother? That day, let you know that Yi is also an unattainable existence for you women. Under the colorful flag, next to the God Monument for Job Transfer, it has reached the countdown stage of today's job transfer. The leaves outside the wall were dancing in the soft wind, and a butterfly flapping its wings approached in the distance. Principal Qin Kailiang looked at the statistical data in his hand and spoke again. Today, we have transferred a total of 472 classmates, of which 46 have switched to main combat professions, 89 have switched to auxiliary professions, and the rest are all life-related professions. Classmates, please remember that professions do not distinguish between high and low, and industries do not distinguish between high and low. No matter what profession you transfer to, everyone should strive to improve their skill proficiency and make themselves as strong as possible. We are first living for ourselves, weak are independent, and strong are protecting humanity. In the next 2 days, all 18-year-old students in Yucheng have completed their job transfers. 2 days later, the beginner upgrade dungeon will be open to everyone. After pausing for a moment, he continued, at that time, all students can team up and enter the dungeon for practical combat, enhance their level and strength. Don't worry, students who have switched to life-related professions. The school won't forget everyone. We have arranged many life skills internship bases, where experienced seniors can personally teach each other life skills, and there are also wages available. When Lin Qingxian heard this, he knew what was going on. His life skills were to become an apprentice and become a free worker for the school. Alright, everyone is working hard and hoping to become a role model for our family. Yucheng is proud and a pillar of humanity. Good luck to everyone, disband. Everyone is aware of the information in the novice dungeon, as there are monsters ranging from level 1 to level 10 distributed in different areas. Even if the strength of novice dungeon monsters is low, the number is not many, and the difficulty is low, it still needs to be taken seriously. If there is an accident, it is really an accident, and it will kill people. Compared to the wild, nature is also relatively safer. Of course, you can also skip the beginner dungeon and go directly to the wilderness, provided that you don't care about your own life or death. This is a game invading reality, where each person has only one life, and death is death, but there is no concept of rebirth or resurrection. There is no such thing as saying that this account has been abandoned and practiced again, so it is not careless at all. Today's successful job transfer means that everyone has already graduated. Changing careers is everyone's graduation certificate. Everyone left one after another without a trace, and Ma Hongtong followed a large number of followers towards Lin Qingshuan's side. Give you one last chance, think it over before you speak. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Mother Gives Treasures. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Mother gives treasures surrounded by the stars and the moon. Ma Hongtong was even more proud than the white swan, with a look of charity and pity in her eyes. With his neck raised high, he was looking at people through his nostrils. His imposing attitude made Lin Qingxian feel uncomfortable, which was too arrogant. Taking a deep breath, Lin Qingxian calmly asked, "Please give me a reason to follow you." Too many people are begging to be her followers. In her opinion, coming to inquire on her own initiative has already given her enough face. As for the simple reason, isn't I pretty? Am I not outstanding enough? Don't you want to be my boyfriend? Confident like her, these words naturally cannot be spoken in public, so quick thinking in her mind is a suitable reason. Her newly recruited younger brother began to speak and said, "Lin Qingxian, don't think that changing jobs and becoming a summoner will really skyrocket. Miss Ma personally invites you to become a follower, which is already a great face. Don't be shameless. Lin Qingxian, Miss Ma is destined to be on the heavenly pride list. Becoming her follower is a blessing that you have cultivated for 10 lifetimes. Your father can even wake up with a smile in his dreams." "Gao Xiaohu, what are you looking at?" Miss Ma invited Lin Qingxian, "Not you vegetable chicken." Cough. Ma Hongtong coughed and all kinds of discussions immediately stopped. "Lin Qingxian, your luck is very good. Since you have switched to the rare undead summoner profession, if you become one of my followers, you will become even stronger." Ma Hongtong's reasons were somewhat illusory, so Lin Qingxian pretended to be foolish and asked in reverse, "Do you mean that I can also make it to the Tianjiao list if I follow?" As soon as these words were spoken, there was another wave of cursing. "A toad really wants to eat swan meat, how dare you think? This guy probably hasn't woken up yet. Can you go to the Tianjiao list if you want to? I don't know what's going on, my head's not in 2 pounds of paste, I can't say that. Anyway, Lin Qingxian is a rare profession." Ma Hongtong took a deep breath and patiently explained, "I can't agree to this condition. However, you need to understand one truth, which is that 1 step cannot keep up, 10 steps cannot catch up. As newcomers who have just successfully transferred jobs, we must strive to improve our strength against time. As long as you sign a soul contract and become my follower, you don't have to wait for the novice dungeon to open. I will take you to the wilderness to experience and level up killing monsters." Lin Qingxian still shook his head with a smile and said, "Our future road is very long, there's no need to work so hard, Sanlang. Before signing the follower contract, I need to go back and seek my mother's opinion." Ma Hongtong was very angry and opened her mouth, saying, "You're really a mommy boy, there's no way to save you. Leave this sentence, turn around and leave." Someone imitated his tone and said, "I need to ask my mom for her opinion." "Ha ha ha, Ma Baonan. Even if it's a rare profession, vegetable chicken is still a vegetable chicken. Hey, it makes sense to be a scumbag." Watching these people leave, Gao Xiaohu asked, "Do you really want to sell your soul?" Lin Qingxian sighed and said, "Ma Hongtong is very powerful. I can't afford to provoke him. He can drag on for a day. Signing a follower contract is equivalent to becoming a servant of the other party, and a person can only sign it once in their lifetime. It's not an exaggeration to say that this is selling one's own soul, but even so, there are still many people who cannot ask for it. This belongs to investing in advance, embracing both success and loss, and is also another way of survival in this world where big shots are tough." Lin Qingxian transferred to become a necromancer. As long as he perseveres, he will definitely become a strong person in the future. There is no need to sell his soul now. Just now, I was teased by a group of female hooligans, and in the blink of an eye, I was demoted to nothing by a group of idiots. I also felt a lot of anger in my heart, and couldn't help but curse in a low voice. "You little rascal, you really have the character, fish. Head off, tail off and bone out. One day, I will put chopsticks on the bowl and a lighter on top of them." Suddenly, a weak female voice came to my ear. "Lin Qingxian, can you be my boyfriend? Ah. Surprised, he looked up and saw a petite little girl standing not far away, blushing with embarrassment. She lowered her head and tried to look at her toes. Her figure is exquisite, her skin is pure white, and her maximum height is no more than 1.6 meters. Her small face is extremely delicate. This girl, Lin Qingxian, knows that she comes from a privileged family and has always had many suitors. The two of them are just from the same school and not in the same class, and they have never intersected with each other. Now, this is probably due to their awakening to a rare profession, so they pretended to be puzzled and said, "Excuse me, are you? Remember my name, Xia Yuha." Whispering out her name, as if she had exhausted all her courage, she ran away all the way. Gao Xiaohu looked envious and said, "Oh, your peach blossom luck is really strong." Just as I entered the door, I saw that my parents had already prepared a table full of good dishes, waiting for him to return. It is obvious that what happened at the school venue today has been transmitted back home. My father, like my grandfather, is like a sullen gourd, only instructing him not to stand out in anything and to understand a truth, which is that since ancient times, a gun can shoot a bird in the head. In short, it means that even rare professions should not be arrogant, and geniuses who have not grown up are not called geniuses. Grandma didn't say much, only gave one sentence. There is no natural genius in the world, only fools who don't work hard. His mother held his favorite braised pork belly in brown sauce and said, "You have a long way to go. This is just the beginning. You are not afraid to walk slowly, but to stop. Remember not to judge the length of the world, only to compete with the sun and moon for the day and night. My son was born into poverty. Even if he is like a wild grass, he must be indomitable with iron bones. We cannot do anything that betrays our soul." There is also a reason why Lin Qingxian, a great master, thinks so much. Her mother used to be a legendary figure and switched to the rare profession of elemental mage. She, who was surrounded by stars and moon, was seriously injured by a friend during another mission. She fled from the south to the north, and then traveled thousands of miles in a coma in a small alley. Then he was saved by Lin Qingshuan's father and stayed. A person is alive, but their cultivation is not preserved, and they become a useless person in a wheelchair. A few years later, news came that the enemy had also died in an expedition. Quack. Over time, love grew and Lin Qingxian emerged. Having my mother's bloody experience as a lesson, the family is very low-key, meticulous, and doesn't like to compete for first place in everything. The Tianjiao, who lived with her mother in the same era, is now rare, but she, as a useless person, has survived. This world is so cruel and ruthless. After dinner, Lin Qingxian was called into the room by his mother, the curtains were closed, and the door was locked. Lin Qingxian is very curious, what is this? It's so mysterious. There is a reason for everything. I saw my mother take out a wooden box from the dark box, and Lin Qingxian was shocked to see it. What's the situation? I've been sleeping in this room for 18 years, and since I don't know there's still a hidden cell. Opening the wooden box, there is a small jade box inside, which is very exquisite and looks like a valuable item. Gently open, inside is a crystal clear emerald. This emerald is like a tender green leaf that is about to drip, with a faint rainbow halo flowing on its surface, like the brilliant stars in the sky falling on earth. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Invincible Attribute, 7-fold Increase. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Invincible Attribute, 7-fold Increase. Lin Qingxian looked curious and stared for a long time before asking, "Mother, as a big man, I don't think it's suitable to wear this." Her mother let out a leisurely sigh, gently picked up the brilliant emerald, and suddenly reached out to press it on Lin Qingshuan's forehead in the yin tang hole. I just feel a clear stream coming from the emerald, feeling incredibly comfortable from the center of my eyebrows to the soles of my feet, making me feel like I'm floating on air. When the clear current disappeared, the emerald in my mother's hand also became dull and lifeless, and then a slight click came, splitting into countless small particles. What is the situation? Is it scrapped? At this moment, my mother's voice began to ring. 20 years ago, during an expedition, 2 treasures were discovered, and my teammate wanted to swallow them alone, so he stabbed me in the back. When he was running away, he casually took one, and it was because of this that he relentlessly pursued me. After so many years of research and understanding its function, I have given it to you now. After all, you are the mother's hope. Lin Qingxian thanked him and then opened the panel to see what attribute changes he had. Name, Lin Qingxian, Occupation, Undead Mage, Unique Occupation, Level 1, Experience 0.001%, Power 10 Constitution 10 Agile 10 Spirit 30 Summoning Space 0 of 2, Talent Comprehensive Enhancement, Unique Skill, Level 1, Passive Skill, Damage Transfer, Skill Soul Burn Level 1, Summoning Skull Art, Comprehensive Increase. Summoners' all skill effects have been increased by 7 times. Damage Transfer. When an undead mage is attacked, they will transfer 85% of their damage to the skeleton warrior. Underworld Flame Burning. The extremely cold flame burns the soul of the target, and its power increases with the increase of one's spiritual power and skill level. Summoning Skull Art. Summoning 2 black iron level skeletons to fight for oneself, each consuming 0.5 mental power. For each level raised, the number of skeletons doubles. Skeletons can be upgraded, and 10 black iron skeletons can be strengthened into bronze skeletons. 10 bronze skeletons can be strengthened into silver skeletons. 100 silver skeletons can be strengthened into gold skeletons. 100 golden skeletons can be strengthened into knight skeletons or legendary skeletons. The basic attributes have not changed significantly, only an additional talent skill has been added. The passive skill damage transfer has also increased from 50% to 85%. At the same time, he also received information that this talent skill has a total of 7 levels, currently only the first level. This talent is simply a great weapon, with a 7-fold increase in all skills at level 1. It's like going against the sky. Psychologically, no wonder my mother's teammates would stab me in the back, and whether I could withstand such temptation is really a big question mark. His passive skills are also very powerful, transferring damage by 85%, it's simply a divine skill. A vortex appeared in the empty space of the room, and Lin Qingxian silently activated his skills to summon his 2 black iron skeletons. Click, click, 2 sounds of bones rubbing against the ground, 2 black iron skeletons appeared inside the room. The 2 skeletons now are no different from those of the layman last afternoon, in tattered condition, as if they had just crawled out of a mass grave. Looking at the attribute panel again, Lin Qingxian took a cold breath. Black Iron Skull Warrior, Level 1, Experience 0.001%, Power 70 Constitution 70 Agile 70 Spirit 70 Skill. None. The appearance looks ordinary and unchanged, but the basic attributes have been fully increased 7-fold. Seeing her son so shocked, when the mother was very satisfied, what she wanted was this result. At the same time, he took out another badge and put it on Lin Qingxuan's chest. He patted his shoulder and said, "Son, this badge is called the Shield Badge. As long as you wear it on your body, people who are 10 levels higher than you will not be able to detect your attributes. The most terrifying thing in this world is the human heart. Monsters are enemies on the surface, and conspirators who secretly use cunning schemes are the ones we should truly guard against. So, no matter when you are, you should always keep your guard, even Gao Xiaohu cannot be too picky. What needs to be vigilant is still to be vigilant." My mother spoke so straightforwardly that she must have known something, nodding and expressing herself knowing how to do it. Before entering the dungeon, you should go to the Great Han Empire Exchange tomorrow to see what you need to buy. Although our family has a weak foundation, we cannot save on life. Saving items. As he spoke, he stuffed a card into Lin Qingshuan's pocket, allowing him to freely dispose of it tomorrow. The exchange was officially established by the Han Empire and has branches in cities of all sizes across the country. The items inside are a bit expensive, but they are definitely worth the money, and the reputation can be fully guaranteed. Lin Qingxian only knew the location, but he never went in once. The next day, in the morning, looking at the dazzling array of items, Lin Qingxian exclaimed that he had broadened his horizons. Looking at the prices above, I can only drift past Wanama in my heart. It's too expensive, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. Feeling the card in my pocket with my hands, I couldn't bear to part with it. Here, you can both buy and sell things on consignment, and also hand over various tasks. He saw his father's task of purchasing various ores at a high price. The called high price, everyone understands. I also saw several low-level contract beasts, which are the favorites of trainers and tamers. The difference between beast tamer and beast tamer is only one word, but they are completely different professions. One focuses on taming and nurturing animals, while the other directly uses contract spells to make contracts, which are even more aggressive and domineering. Suddenly, a unique figure entered Lin Qingshuan's eyes. Beautiful, so beautiful. A woman walked towards him, about the same age as him, with only one word in his mind. Beauty. Even though Lin Qingxian has been a person of 2 generations, this woman is definitely the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. Her beauty is unique, like a flower, so charming from any angle. Her small face is clean and neat, her eyes are large, peaceful and warm, and her mouth is small, shy and introverted. Classical temperament, every word and action, every frown and smile, exuding a special charm throughout. With Lin Qingshuan's vocabulary, countless words cannot describe her beauty. Some of Wang Marin's truth, Chen Marin's coldness, Zhang Marin's beauty, and the unintentional smile are all so sweet and lovely. The short black hair adds a touch of heroic charm. The two of them passed by, and upon inspection, their heads happened to be on Lin Qingshuan's earlobe. Looking back at the gradually fading figure of the other person, my heart was in a hurry, and that feeling was. I seem to be in love. If this woman could marry back and warm her bed, Lin Qingxian would definitely be willing to break her ribs and cook soup for her. Taking a deep breath, Lin Qingxian, who has been a person of 2 generations, understood a truth. Such a beautiful woman is a disaster for her beauty, and she cannot afford to provoke it herself. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Sudden Attack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Sudden Attack. Because there are 2 skeleton warriors with a 7-fold increase, and Lin Qingxian has 85% passive damage transfer, he thinks he is as stable as an old dog and a group of novice dungeons are safe, so he didn't buy anything. However, I still placed my hand on the magic crystal ball and started identity authentication. Start authenticating identity information. Certification successful, citizen of the Han Empire, Lin Qingxian. Contribution. 0, permission. Level 1. The exchange is only open to citizens of the Han Empire, and Lin Qingshuan's current authority is the lowest, only at level 1. Contribution is the only criterion for improving the level of authority, and completing the tasks of the exchange will give a certain relative contribution. After leaving the exchange, I strolled around the area again. The prices of things in other stores fluctuate greatly, which is much cheaper than the things in the exchange, but lacks a lot of quality assurance. Walking and stopping, time passes by unconsciously. Wiping away the tiny beads of sweat on my face, I looked up at the scorching sun in the sky, and it was already lunchtime. Perhaps it's because it's too hot and there aren't many pedestrians on the street. Touch your lower abdomen, it's a bit urgent to urinate. After coming out of the public restroom and splashing with water, he felt comfortable all over. Suddenly, a strong force came from the waist, causing severe pain. The whole person rose up from the clouds and crashed heavily into a corner of the wall. Even if you feel dizzy, you know you have been ambushed. With a click in my mind, I summoned a skeleton warrior in the space, and one of them was directly scrapped. There were already fine cracks, but now they scattered on the ground and turned into a pile of scrap. The other skeleton warrior's soul fire in his eyes was throbbing violently, as if he also felt a threat. Lying on the ground, Lin Qingxian dared not move and could feel a strong killing intent from a distance. The whole body was in severe pain. Fortunately there was a passive skill damage transfer, of which 85% of the damage was unloaded and transferred to the skeleton warrior. At the gap between his eyes, he saw a figure walking slowly towards him. Although he was wearing a duckbill cap and a mask, deep in his memory, he still felt as if he had seen this figure somewhere before. Lin Qingxian didn't dare to make a sound, but the person clenched their fists and muttered in a low voice, "If you want to blame me, I'll blame you for not knowing how to hold up." There were footsteps coming from afar. "Uncle Mo, I am already 18 years old. No matter what choice I make, I will definitely take responsibility for myself." After a helpless sigh, there was a solemn instruction. "Everyone is the first person responsible for their own lives. You have made a choice, just hope you don't regret it." The approaching figure stopped, bit its steel teeth, and quickly turned around to leave. At the corner, I brushed past two figures. I couldn't see the other person's face clearly, but the pleasant voice was remembered in my mind, and my eyes went black before I fainted. I woke up again in a daze, with waves of pain coming from my waist. I opened my eyes and looked around. I am currently in a pet animal shop, lying on a hard wooden bed. A gray-clothed old man sat there teasing a little kitten with his head down, and without lifting his head, he directly ordered to leave. "Since you're not dead, let's go quickly." Slowly standing up, he clasped his fists and saluted, "Uncle, I won't thank you for your great kindness. There will be a generous reward in the future." The old man impatiently waved his hand and said, "Your best reward is to get out of here quickly. How can I do business while you're there?" What a strange old man. Lin Qingxian thanked him seriously again and then left the small shop. Looking again, it is only about 300 meters away from the exchange of the Han Empire, and the sky is approaching dusk. The clouds in the sky burned from the west all the way to the east, red and bright, as if there was a raging fire at the distant border of the sky. The clouds in the sky are also constantly changing, and their shadows are surging, as if the mountains and rivers are fluctuating. Fierce beasts and birds are crossing mountains and valleys, or as if high mountain water flows straight into the valley, creating a grand and magnificent scene. Without sadness or joy, he walked quickly towards the street, stopped a taxi casually, and went home. I didn't tell my parents what happened today, just to prevent them from being careful. Lying alone in bed, thinking about the attack today, he secretly clenched his fists. The person who attacked me today, a group of figures slowly overlapped. It's not too late for a gentleman to seek revenge for 10 years. Ma Hongtong, we have become a big couple. No wonder it feels familiar, just because this person is a driver who often shuttles Ma Hongtong to and from school. Rich drivers usually have some unknown skills. Take a deep breath and also thank that person. It's not that he has a tendency towards abuse, but rather that he realizes his true weakness. Lin Qingxuan's passive skill damage transfer is correct, but the damage is calculated based on his own defense, ignoring the defense of the skeleton warrior. That's why skeleton warriors are directly scrapped. The main reason is that he is too weak, with a pitiful physique of only 10 points, and his defense is extremely weak and not worth mentioning. As his talent skill level increases, his damage transfer will also increase again. Even so, it remains a weakness in his weaknesses. Lin Qingxian secretly warned himself to build up his physique in the future. The only weakness is oneself. The higher one's physique, the stronger their defense, so that their skeleton legion will have no worries. Lin Qingxian has realized. His biggest weakness is himself. If someone gives up entanglement with the Skull Warrior and attacks him instead, allowing assassins to ambush him, even if there is a transfer of damage, it will be very dangerous. Damage transfer is not omnipotent. What if an assassin directly cuts off their own head? Since you understand your weaknesses, find a way to make up for them. Today can be considered as an assassin surprise attack, and people cannot fall twice in the same place. He was really scared of this today, and the next day he will stay at home obediently, not daring to go out and run around. It is said that it is dangerous outside the city, but no one can imagine that even inside the city, it is not safe. The biggest advantage of a necromancer is that when a skeleton warrior is scrapped, it can also replenish the air gap. Today is August 1st. At 7:50, arrive at the school gate on time. Several buses have already been waiting there early, and when everyone arrives, they will go together to the location of the dungeon. Before Lin Qingxian could get in the car, he saw Gao Xiaohu waving at the window and saying, this way, I've reserved a seat for you. Just as I sat down, I saw an extra pet bag around his waist. The trainer doesn't have any pet space and can only use pet bags instead. From this, you can tell that this guy must have been bleeding a lot these days and bought a pet beast on the exchange. My good friend patted the pet bag heartlessly and chuckled. Boss Wang saw that I have good qualifications, so he took me as his adopted son and gave me this as a gift. Upon hearing these words, Lin Qingshuan's eyelids twitched as he thought about various rumors, his eyes somewhat strange. Good guy, this is a disguised recognition of one's ancestors, it seems that the rumors are not unfounded. Curious, brother, what kind of beast are you inside? End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Teaming and Entering Dungeons. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Teaming and Entering Dungeons. Gao Xiaohu was quite proud and said, my adoptive father gave me a fierce tiger, saying it contains white tiger blood. He chuckled with a lewd expression and said, good brother, I have the help of a fierce tiger, and you have a skeleton warrior. If we team up, we will definitely be able to kill all directions in the beginner dungeon. Lin Qingxian sighed and shook his head, you're thinking too beautifully. Both of us belong to the main battle profession, and it's impossible to team up in a novice dungeon. Gao Xiaohu's eyes were full of clear and foolish gazes. What, why? Lin Qingxian reluctantly told him, because we need to bring support, each main battle profession needs to bring 1 to 2 support upgrades, and they need to be upgraded to level 10. Seeing the other person's eyes staring like copper bells, he immediately added, however, this is a good opportunity to take care of my younger sister. Upon hearing the following sentence, Gao Xiaohu immediately became energized and his round eyes narrowed into a slit. This sounds great, but I prefer solo monster spawning as it allows for faster upgrades. What Gao Xiaohu said is indeed true. While the speed of teaming up to kill monsters may increase, the experience is also divided equally among all members of the team. In addition, monster refresh is fixed, and overall efficiency, including monster search time, will be 40% slower. Lin Qingxian poured a basin of cold water on his head again. You think it's impossible to kill monsters alone? The main battle profession must be upgraded with auxiliary professions, and there is no choice. Instead of thinking about these things here, why don't you think about which girl to bring? Enhance friendships in advance, and pairing men and women is not tiring. The bus slowly began to move, and Gao Xiaohu stared out the window. Ma Hongtong and that group of people didn't come. This was naturally what Lin Qingxian expected, and he could only smile bitterly. This world has never been truly fair. Ma Hongtong has someone to protect him and directly go out of the city to kill monsters, so he naturally doesn't use it for beginner dungeons. Those followers are not fools either, who will do it if there is no benefit. If you can't catch up with me in 1 step, if you can't catch up with me in 10 steps, it certainly makes sense. However, the road of life is long, and who can laugh until the end is the truth. Yucheng, there are 6 universities, and about 500 people have come here today. No matter which university, there are groups like Ma Hongtong who disdain to come to novice dungeons. Several principals gathered together to chat and praise each other. Suddenly, there was a silence as a high-end business vehicle drove from afar. The car door opens and a tall old man comes down. Several principals immediately surrounded and warmly greeted each other. The old man arrived at a high platform with the support of 6 principals. Holding the microphone in hand, a deep voice rang out. Silence. On the left side of the main battle profession, on the right side of the auxiliary profession. The crowd surged and quickly separated. Auxiliary professions are about twice as much as main combat professions. The deep voice rang out again. No one should think about upgrading to single-player monster farming. We are a community and need to help each other. In many future tasks, assistance is indispensable. So, we need to bring more auxiliary upgrades in our daily lives, so that we can be more confident when using land first. Everyone can freely form a team of 3, with 1 main player and 2 assistants. Team up and stand in the middle. The process remains basically unchanged every year, and many people have already contacted the team themselves, so they go straight to the goal. Once the team is formed, they start to enter the dungeon one after another. Those who have not formed a team can only wait in place. 10 minutes later, there will still be about 100 left in place on site. A deep voice rang out again. Each of the main battle professions stand still, and the auxiliary professions go ahead and select teams. Lin Qingxian was taken aback for a moment. Why does this feel a bit strange? It shouldn't be about assisting and not moving. Is it right to choose teammates for the main battle? Just arrived, but I saw it very clearly. The teaming conditions for entering the beginner dungeon are very strange, and that is, 3 young people holding hands with each other. Gao Xiaohu's eyes narrowed into a slit. Since it was necessary to form a team to take care of the girl, why not choose a beautiful, pleasing, and skin-friendly one to enhance the relationship? So as soon as he gritted his teeth and patted the pet bag with his left hand, the earth shook and dust rolled around, and a big guy appeared beside him. That is a white fierce tiger, with a prominent golden king character on its head. Gently stroking the tiger's forehead with his hand, he didn't forget to introduce it to Lin Qingxian. Who has the bloodline of a divine beast, the white tiger. In the future, he will be my close companion and grow together with the Shah in all directions. You can envy him. The words were directed towards Lin Qingxian, but they were clearly showing off to the girl across from them, as they were frowning and winking. This big tiger has smooth fur, not only majestic but also a hint of cute feline energy. What? I also have a helper, okay. Lin Qingxuan's mind twitched, and 2 skeleton warriors appeared on both sides. The soul fire in his eyes flickered, and his body was filled with coldness. This coolness is so good. I saved turning on the air conditioning in summer. I thought happily in my heart, but most of the assistants were girls. Seeing these 2 skeletons, I unconsciously took a step back. The girls who had intended to team up with him began to hesitate and quickly chose someone else. Gao Xiaohu made a face at him and proudly killed the tiger, then pulled the small hands of 2 girls into the dungeon. Soon, Lin Qingxian was left on the field alone. Since no one was willing to team up with him, the reason was that the 2 skeleton warriors were too close to each other. Lin Qingxian appeared lonely and helpless on the surface, but in his heart, he was overjoyed. If no one forms a team, it means that you can level up faster than others, and once you enter a dungeon, you can freely engage in killing. Look, there's no one left, so we'll put away 2 skeleton warriors and prepare for the dungeon. Unexpectedly, it was stopped. This teacher, it's not that I don't bring any assistance now, but that no one needs me to bring it. The teacher blinked and smiled at the mystery. Who said no one? There is one that you need to upgrade with. Speaking, waving towards the distance, a beautiful figure walked down from a parked car in the distance. A short head of hair with a handsome appearance, a tight-fitting suit, sports shoes, and most notably a rabbit mask worn on the head. I saw that she seemed to know each other before, as if I had seen her somewhere before. Because I couldn't see my face, I couldn't remember it for a moment. Lin Qingxian took a visual inspection and found that it was probably an A. Cup, requiring manual development the day after tomorrow. To be honest, this figure is a bit unsuitable for wearing this outfit. The mentor in front of him pointed to the Qianying and said, "Isn't there someone else here? This student is a bit special and needs you to take her to level 20. Lin Qingxian couldn't believe it, thinking he had heard it wrong. Others are all at level 10, why is it that one is at level 20? The mentor chuckled and explained, others lead 2 people, so level 10 is enough. But you're taking 1 person, so level 20. 1 person is at level 10, and 2 people are also at level 20. You're not at a disadvantage. Lin Qingxian had a bewildered expression on his face, could he still explain it this way? Can the experience be the same when reaching level 10 and level 20? Can the time be the same? If that's the case, I would rather bring 4 assistants to level 10 than bring 1 assistant to level 20. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. The Savior. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The Savior. Seeing Lin Qingxuan's confusion and unwillingness, the mentor said another sentence. They are not auxiliary, they are also main combat professions, just a bit decadent in the early stage. Don't talk nonsense, hurry up and enter. Helpless, can only agree. Just as he was about to go and hold his little hand, his mentor grabbed him again. Hand over an iron card and say, with this token, you can team up without holding hands. Turning her head to look, the masked Qianying indeed had an iron card in her hand, clearly prepared in advance. Without waiting for him to speak, the iron card suddenly emitted a white light, and Lin Qingxian was immediately impressed by the dungeon. Thinking to himself, why? They can all hold their hands, why can't they just hold an iron card? The beginner dungeon is very large, and the environment where Lin Qingxian and his companions appear is a grassland. The terrain is flat and vast, with slightly undulating small mounds and areas that are difficult to distinguish with the naked eye. The entire land is covered with green grass, like a thick carpet. Wild grass, as tall as half a person, can be seen everywhere, creating a unique picture against the backdrop of the blue sky. Mountain chickens, big-eared rabbits, and scarecrows hide in the grass, making it difficult for people to detect. Looking left and right, the masked Qianying was not far from him, only a dozen meters away. The density of monsters here is not high, and they do not actively attack humans. It is completely a beginner's paradise, and you can gradually get used to battles, adapt to the bloody, and be very safe. In other words, finding monsters may take more time than killing them. With a thought, 2 skeleton warriors appeared left and right, asking them to search for prey in 2 directions. When walking, there is a sound of bone and joint friction, accompanied by a hint of coldness. A agility attribute point of up to 70, even when walking normally, can keep up with Lin Qingxuan's jogging speed. Lin Qingxian said to the masked woman, "Meet me, my name is Lin Qingxian." The masked woman stared at a skeleton warrior with cold eyes and said, "Li Hongdo." The first feeling is that the Linglong dice and an Hongdo are deeply ingrained in love, with a profound meaning. The name sounds beautiful and unfamiliar, but when Lin Qingxian heard the sound, his eyes shrank. "Thank you very much for saving your life, miss," he said, bowing and thanking the other party. That day he was attacked, and before he fell into a coma, he remembered the woman's voice, which was the person in front of him. No acknowledgement, no denial. The masked woman stood there calmly and praised her. "Your skull is good." At this moment, a skull raised a broken knife in its hand and quickly chopped it down. Just such a simple action, you get a prompt sound. Successfully killed the big-ear rabbit, experience increased by 4. The first level big-eared rabbit was instantly killed, but isn't this experience value too low? I'm really puzzled, can't figure out what this situation is. Single player brushing, experience points increase by 10. Experience plus 4, this is the experience point that only teams of 3 people can have. 2 people should have added 6. I looked at the other person in confusion and asked, is this experience value a bit wrong? It's too low. The masked woman first shook her head and then nodded. The experience value is very accurate, divided into 3 parts, no problem. 3 copies. Look around, there are only 2 people here, how could they be divided into 3 parts? The woman turned around and saw that she was holding an egg with both hands. A very large egg, the size of a watermelon. The masked woman's voice sounded to help him clarify, I am the main battle professional beast tamer, and this is my contracted spirit beast. Lin Qingxian felt a bit numb and began to doubt life. The main battle profession is the beast master, which is a gold-consuming profession that burns a lot of money. There is no such thing as it. Meng is really fierce, provided that you need to contract an advanced spiritual beast. But in most families, even the cheapest low-level spirit beasts cannot be bought. The most important point is that the experience of the beast master in monster hunting should be evenly divided with that of the spirit beast master. If it were a low-level spirit beast with a contract, it would not only waste the contract quota, but also have a lot of combat power. Advanced spirit beasts, with small quantities and exorbitant prices. If Lin Qingxian were to transfer to become an imperial beast master and just mess up, even if he sold his parents, he wouldn't be able to afford a low-level spirit beast. Gao Xiaohu is a fierce beast, this is a spirit beast, not in the same level at all, and upgrading spirit beasts requires more experience. The reason why Lin Qingxian became numb is because his contract with the beast master, even if it was a low-level spirit beast, meant a few eggs. Thinking about it, there came a boost sound of killing the big ear rabbit experience plus 4. Fortunately, I had the help of a skeleton warrior, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to advance to a few levels today despite being exhausted. Blink your eyes, and finally ask yourself what you don't understand in your heart. Miss Li, what do you mean by 1 egg in this contract? I am not interested in low-level spiritual beasts, and there are many restrictions on high-level spiritual beasts in the contract. So, I will directly contract the advanced spirit beast cubs. Lin Qingxian was completely confused. Is this a telepathic beast cub? My eyes are fine, this is just an egg, okay? Don't look at me with your ignorant eyes, my spirit beast cubs need level 10 to hatch. At this point, the voice became very low and added, it's also possible that it can only hatch at level 20. Lin Qingxian understood now, no wonder he wanted to take her to level 20. It turned out to be such a reason. As long as you take me up to level 20, there will be a great thank you then. The saying goes that Lin Qingxian doesn't value it. He is a person who knows how to repay kindness. Miss Li, if it weren't for your sudden appearance that day, I would have been killed by someone. You saved my life, I should have taken you to upgrade. Speaking on this side, it's coming again to kill the big ear rabbit, with an experience bonus of 4. Li Hongdou looked at the 2 skeleton warriors and could only see his upper body wandering in the distance in search of prey. You're a good skeleton warrior, with them around, killing monsters and upgrading is very leisurely. Lin Qingxian coughed and awkwardly smiled, unsure of how to answer. As the skull warrior wandered, a map slowly formed in Lin Qingxian's mind. Carefully distinguish, this is the map of the secret realm. Wherever the skeleton warrior passes by, it will automatically display, and the areas that have not been passed by are pitch black. This feature is good, not only can it kill monsters and upgrade, but it can also automatically draw maps. Not bad, not bad. Quickly, one of the skeleton warriors returned the message. We have reached the limit distance and cannot continue our journey. The skeleton stood 400 meters away from Lin Xian, standing still. Lin Qingxian suddenly felt that this skeleton had intelligence, but not high. Then give them the latest instructions, move sideways for more than 10 meters, and then sweep back. It is clear in my heart that the current skeleton warrior can maintain a distance of 400 meters from myself. However, this is only for now, as the level increases, this distance will continue to expand. Kill a big-eared rabbit, experience points increase by 4, kill a big-eared rabbit, experience points increase by 4, kill a big-eared rabbit, experience points increase by 4, apart from the occasional beeps, Lin Qingxian stood there idle, with a beautiful shadow by his side, but unfortunately it was just an ice block. End of this chapter. Chapter 10, Level 30, is a billion skeleton army. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 10, Level 30, is a billion skeleton army. Looking at my experience attribute bar, I often sigh. At least 200 long-eared rabbits are needed to upgrade. The thought of being able to summon 2 skeleton warriors as thugs after upgrading still gave me a little excitement. With the passage of time, within 400 meters of Lin Qingxian as the center, the sweeping has been basically completed. Commanding 2 skeleton warriors to lead the way, followed by Lin Qingxian and Li Hongdou. The two of them had little communication throughout the entire journey. It took almost 2 hours for the 2 skeleton warriors to gather over 200 long-eared rabbits, and it was only then that Lin Qingxian welcomed his first upgrade in life. Name, Lin Qingxian, Occupation, Undead Mage, Unique Occupation, Level 2, Experience 0.001%, Power 20, Constitution 20, Agile 20, Spirit 60, Free allocation of points. 4. Summoning space 0 of 4, Talent. Comprehensive enhancement, Unique skill, Level 1, Passive skill, Damage transfer, Skill. Underworld burning. Level 2, Summoning skull art, Comprehensive increase. Summoners all skill effects have been increased by 7 times. Damage transfer. When an undead mage is attacked, they will transfer 85% of their damage to the skeleton warrior. Underworld flame burning. The extremely cold flame burns the soul of the target, and its power increases with the increase of one's spiritual power and skill level. Summoning skull art. Summoning 2 black iron level skeletons to fight for oneself, each consuming 0.5 mental power. For each level raised, the number of skeletons doubles. Skeletons can be upgraded, and 10 black iron skeletons can be strengthened into bronze skeletons. 10 bronze skeletons can be strengthened into silver skeletons. 100 silver skeletons can be strengthened into gold skeletons. 100 golden skeletons can be strengthened into knight skeletons or legendary skeletons. All attributes have been improved, but there hasn't been much change in other aspects, except for 4 additional points that can be randomly assigned. Since I knew my biggest weakness was physical weakness, I didn't even think about adding all 4 allocatable points to my physique. Summon 2 skeleton warriors as thugs again and join the hunting operation. Looking at the attributes of the skull warrior again, there was no change at all, which made him frown uncontrollably. How could this be? Shouldn't it be? After careful consideration for a long time, I finally realized it. The attributes of a skeleton warrior are not related to his level. The only way for skeleton warriors to become stronger is through their own artificial synthesis. For some reason, I suddenly thought of a game called Xioxiol. Quickly calculated, when you reach level 4, you can synthesize a bronze skull warrior. Your own summoning count is double every upgrade. The further you go, the larger the base. Having 4 skeleton warriors kill monsters on their own, he turned his eyes to Qianying. Anyway, being idle is also being idle. Find something to do for her by yourself. That Li Hongdou, can you do me a favor? The two of them had no common topic, which was already a bit awkward. When he asked for help, the atmosphere suddenly eased a lot. What are you saying? Help me. Lin Qingxian scratched his head and said, I'm a scumbag. Li Hongdou was stunned for a moment, didn't understand what the situation was. Lin Qingxian continued, my mother gave me a question, and I've been pondering for a long time without knowing how to answer it. Can you help me clarify this? Upon hearing this, Li Hongdo readily agreed. Anyway, there are skeleton warriors to kill monsters. Standing here, even if you're idle, it's not bad to help him solve his doubts. It can also help alleviate a little awkwardness. You are a scumbag, I am a top student. What you think is difficult is just a drop in the bucket with me. Lin Qingxian couldn't help but smile playfully when he saw her full of confidence. Drizzle. I can make your calculations collapse. After a moment of contemplation, he began to say, my mom gave me a math problem. Someone gave me 2 grains of rice on the first day. For the next day. 8 on the third day. 16 on the fourth day. 32 on the fifth day. And so on. How many grains of rice will you give me in a month? Li Hongdo couldn't believe it, thinking she had heard it wrong. Is that all? Lin Qingxian nodded and said seriously, yes, that's it. I'm not very good at math, can you help me? Li Hongdo is somewhat skeptical. Your mother is so bored, she has such a strange math problem. Lin Qingxian took out a pen and paper from his pocket and handed them to her. Directly rejected by Li Hongdo. I'll tell you, this girl also has a nickname, she is invincible in her calculations. This kind of question is just a drizzle. I'll give you the answer in minutes. Put the egg in my arms on the ground, quickly pick it up with both hands, muttering incessantly. At first, I looked relaxed and didn't feel any pressure. Then his face became solemn, and a slight sweat broke out from his forehead. Lin Qingxian was mischievous and deliberately interrupted. Oh my, why are you sweating? I have water here, you quench your thirst, don't get heatstroke. Li Hongdo looked at her murderous eyes and said angrily, you did it on purpose, you did it on purpose. Lin Qingxian looked excited and took out paper and pen to record, talk about how much, I'll take note. Li Hongdo grabbed a pen and paper, used the egg as a small stool, and began to write and draw. We need to first calculate the numbers for each day and then add them up one by one. While using a computer may be fast, using pen calculations can be a bit cumbersome and troublesome. After a full hour, Li Hongdo wiped the fine beads on his forehead before giving him a number. 214-748-3648, 214-748-338648 grains of rice. A month is calculated based on 30 days, and the result is obtained by adding up all the days. At level 31, Lin Qingxian could summon so many black iron skeleton warriors. Lin Qingxian actually wanted to ask her how many grains of rice she would have on the 30th day. The reason he changed his mind was to give her a bit of difficulty. Take her densely packed paper and take a look at the numbers for the last 30 days. 107, 374, 1824, 173.74 million, 1824 million. After getting the answer, Lin Qingxian thought for a moment and also wanted to ask how many grains of rice he needed for 2 months. But then he gave up the idea and was a bit afraid that Li Hongdo would go crazy. While looking at the data, I put away another piece of paper and handed it over again. Li Hongdo suddenly became alert. Why? You have unfinished business. Lin Qingxian looked at the other person with a pitiful expression on his face and said, you're good. I'll do it to the end and do me another favor. A cold voice came. Say, don't declare too much in advance. It seems that this girl has gone off guard and dare not say too much this time. Lin Qingxian smiled and explained, the question my mother gave me is very complicated. Thank you very much. But my dad also gave me a simple math problem. Even if it's simple, I, as a scumbag, don't know how to calculate. Can you help me out? End of this chapter.